Hello and welcome to this next session for Karate Framework or Test Automation. So in this session, we will deep dive into the basic Maven based framework and try to understand the basic things. So this is the basic framework which I did set up in the earlier session, and there are some changes made for this demo. So let's see. So what we will see is we will see the pom.xml and use your folder structure for a basic Maven based project. There are some standard files which are already created, example test.java, and this is the important file which is karate-config.js. So we will deep dive into it. It is just a one-time setup most of the time, and we will see some command line argument. So let's start with pom.xml first. So pom.xml here, as usual, you can have some properties which are basic for the entire XML file, and you can add any other dependencies like any other utility dependencies as per your wish. And what is going to happen is it is going to consider these resources and excluding the Java file. So src test java slash resources or any other folder under this, and as usual it is going to have this compiler plugin and the surefire plugin. Now next is this folder structure. So as usual it is src test resources, and if you see here there's only src test here and examples folder. So but there's an examples folder, but what you can do is you can keep your feature files in the resources folder under Java folder. In the upcoming videos I'm going to do the same. So for now, let's stick to the one which is by default. Now next thing is example test.java file. Now this is basically a runner file, as you have seen in any other BDD Cucumber based project or any test engine project. So this is a runner file. Basically it runs the one JUnit test which runs in parallel, and these are a couple of parameters which we are also going to see later in detail, in depth. And it is going to run this examples, which is this examples folder, and under this all the feature files are going to run. This all parameters parallel and assert true, that we are going to see in the subsequent sessions. Now let us start with this karateconfig.js file, karateconfig.js. So if we see their documentation, um, and I am searching for configuration here, so I come here. So for karateconfig.js, the only rule is that on startup, Karate expects a file called as karate-config.js to exist on the class path and contains a JavaScript function. The function is expected to return JSON object, and all keys and values in that JSON object uh, will be made available as script variables. So basically, it is going to do uh, some global level setup for the entire project, which will be useful later. And this is a necessity for a basic necessity for and the minimum necessity for the Karate Maven based project using Karate framework. So what is this JavaScript file? So it has one function, as usual it's a JavaScript file, and there are some couple of things here. So let's see the actuals in the actual file. Right, so here if you see it is basically it's a JavaScript file, but you can read it out. It's basically a simple programming. So it is declaring a variable and assigning it to karate.env. So this karate.env is something which is basically a system property, you can say. Why we need this? Let's say you want to run the tests for a specific environment. Let's say you want to do dev environment specific setting or end-to-end environment specific setting, or sid qa staging pre-prod, whatever environment related specific setting that you want to do. Now how do you pass this environment? Is using the command line. So in the command line you can pass it like minus capital D karate.env equal to the environment name, and that will be captured here. So then there's if condition and all, that is fine. So in the internal env will be set to a default if the karate.env parameter is not sent via the command line. Now here we can do some standard config, and these are the variables, name of the variables that will appear, that can be referred in any of the feature file. For example, this env equal to this env, my some standard variable name, whatever, and some URL or some global level setup. Okay, maybe it's a base URL for your entire project that you can set up, so that you don't need to set it up again and again. And again, uh, so this is a config which is global level, and this is a config which is based on some conditions. So if the environment is dev, then you say dev hyphen host, whatever. If the environment is E2E, then you're going to say E2E host and something like this. And if you don't want to do it here, then there are some standards variables like connection timeout and read timeout and those things that you can set up using karate.configure. So that pretty much is basic intro. This we will see reprocess for every scenario. Where config we have seen some variables and karate.configure. So this we have seen. Now let us do one thing in the feature file. I have made some changes. I have commented the second scenario. Maybe I'll comment the this this particular set of lines, and I'm just going to put some print statement. Now what is this env? This env is coming from karate.config, this particular variable, my var name and some base URL. So my var name and some base URL you can print it. Now what is this karate.properties? Okay, so apart from the standard variable names and all, if you want to pass on some additional data from command line, for example using the command line, let's say my name equal to John or any other thing, that can be captured in karate.properties, and you can give the name of the variable what you have passed in the command line. So let's just run it once and see what happens. Okay, so build is successful. So as I told you, when the karate framework start execution, it starts its execution. Then the first thing is the control will be passed to pom.xml. Then the control will be passed to karate-config.js, and the pre-processing or the initial processing will be done here. And that is why if you see, it is saying using system property karate.env equal to e2e. So that is coming from karate.env system property was. So this will be run first. So if you want to just see, yeah, if you want to see that it is starting from here, E to E. Okay, and let's see. So logging starts. So env is E to E. So this is the env what we have passed as a command line. Karate dot minus d karate.env equal to E to E. So remember there is no space between minus d and k. It's continuous, and after equal to, there is, you can straight away write the value, no need to have double quotes. And after that there is one blank space, and then again capital minus d and some other foo equal to bar. Now my var name, from where it is coming, my var name I have set it up here as a global variable. Then karate.properties my dot name. So once again my name equal to John, so that is what is coming here as a John, and logging ends. So that is pretty basic setup. Yeah, command line argument we have seen, minus d karate.env and minus d my name equal to John. Thank you.